Do you want to win more close and box fights? Well, here are the top 10 peaks pros used to dominate in Fortnite. There are timestamps below if you want to skip to any point in the video. So let's get straight into the video and break down these peaks. Right, so the first peak is a top triangle edit. You guys probably already know it as a peanut butter edit, but the reason why I'm including it in the video is because it's just such a good peak and some people don't do it correctly. So for the perfect right hand peak, you want to be elevated a bit by a cone or a ramp, and you want to have a flat surface above you. The mistake a lot of people make is they don't properly do the peak, so they might edit it and just do this. But you want to edit it and be behind this wall. You want to jump up and to the side, so you want to end up in this corner. Like that. So altogether, it looks like this. Right, so the second peak is quite similar to the top triangle edit, but rather this one is a bottom triangle edit. You always want to make sure you're doing the bottom triangle on the right side, because this gives you the right hand peak advantage. So for example, if I stand here, I have all of this space I can look at, so say the opponent's right there. Because your opponent doesn't have the right hand peak, you have a better advantage. So your opponent has a lot less chance to be able to shoot you. Right, so the third peak involves when you have a floor above someone. It basically works by standing on the tile and editing all the other tiles like this. So now you have a nice peak up here. It's even better if you have a cone or a ramp above you like this, because you can jump up and then it'll push you down after. Right, so the next peak is very simple and it's just a right hand window edit. This is a good peak because if you do any other window, it's usually a lot bigger than the right one. See, it's smaller here. In the correct circumstances, for example, if someone's boxed up here, you actually have the right hand peak against them. The main way to use this is by walking over the shooter and crouching back, so you don't want to be exposed for too long. Heading on to the fourth peak, this one involves cone here. So when you're on the cone, for example, say someone's in that box and there's a wide edit or no wall there, what you can do is sit really far back on this cone and it acts as a barrier between you and them, so you can quickly crouch up and take a shot. This also helps if you've been boxed or you're in a box. You can make a wide open edit, sit on the back of your cone, crouch up and get a nice shot. Right, so for the sixth peak, this is quite simple. Basically, when someone's boxed and you want to claim their wall, you can edit these three tiles on the cone and stand back here and you can attack their wall pretty easily. You can shoot this part, and if you're the opponent, you can't see them at all unless if they come right down here, but you have the right hand peak and you can get a better shot off on them. This is generally a very good way to attack a box and to get a wall. So now when you have a wall, you can have a base. Moving on to the seventh peak, this one involves a ramp when you're either in a box or just you have a ramp over someone. So you've got to imagine that your opponent's here and you have the ramp over them. In this situation where someone's below you, you might do a Mongol classic, which is not very protected anymore. Instead, you can edit your floor like this, and this is great because you have a right hand peak over onto the other side, and you have this little railing to protect you. So say your opponent's here, you can jump up like that, and you can also switch to the other side like this. This angle here generally isn't the best because it's a left hand peak. However, this can also be good to use on your opponent. So say your opponent stood against the wall. Say we're on top of this ramp, you can edit it like this, and if you can get your opponent on here, it's very easy to quickly jump up like that. Say for example you have a roof there, that's a very safe peak. So for the 8th peak, this one more so tries getting your opponent into a position you'd like them. So this can include having a right hand peak there, and having these floor and cone here, you can easily drop them down into a right hand peak. This one's very simple, but it's more sort of controlling your opponent. For the 9th peak, this one includes when someone is over the top of you here, for example, and your tops are open. So for this peak, imagine your opponent stood here looking down to try and get a good shot. You want to hug this wall, which makes it harder to be able to see you unless if they fully look down, which puts them in a bad position. By hugging this wall, you can also jump up and get a nice shot on them. Right, so for the final peak, this one's very important, but when someone's boxed up here, you basically want to set up a right hand peak on them like this. So you want to box up diagonally to them, so they're there. You want to be diagonal, and you want to cover your back so no one can shoot you from behind. This is a very good peak because you can get a natural right hand angle on them, and you're fully protected if you attack them whilst hugging your wall here, because from their point of view, they can't see you if you're hugging the wall, but because you have a right hand peak, you can clearly see them there. Some people don't have ramps or cones in their boxes, so if you attack from this angle, you can quickly get a stair and potentially the wall. I hope you guys enjoyed that video and found it useful. If you did, be sure to like and subscribe. Also, I'm a bit sick today, so if my voice sounds weird, that's why. But anyways, I'll see you next time. Bye.